Cancer is a word that can bring fear whenever associated to one's health or a loved one's health. The purpose of my speech today is to inform you of how cancer tends to spread. Cancer has always been a big topic in the healthcare world and also in society, so I want to give you guys a better understanding of how the cancer is spreading. To do this, I will first talk about the formation of cancer, then I will talk about the separation of it, and then finally the transportation it basically uses. To start this all off, I would like to first talk about how the cancer forms. So, formation. Cancer starts when a healthy cell is damaged, and according to the website cancer.gov, cancer causes the cells to shift the genes that are in charge over growth and division. The cell can make a mistake when building another copy of DNA, and it can sometimes ignore the mistake and produce a faulty cell. And then it could start to multiply out of control. And in those faulty cells, they'll either have too many chromosomes or they're missing some. And that's a quick summary of how cancer pretty much forms, but as it is done forming, it can separate and move locations, and this is also known as metastasis. So how it separates, according to an article on fredhodge.org by Rachel Tompa, the cancer cells can be, for example, in a tumor, and then just one day metastasize. Or to put it in simpler terms, they can start to get ready to move. And this just happens out of nowhere. They could then seed more cancerous cells into new parts of the body, produce more tumors, thus making it more deadlier. According to the National Center for Biotechnology Information website, it is estimated that metastasis is responsible for about 90% of cancer deaths. Now that you know how it separates, I want to talk about how it gets there, what it's using to move. Transportation. So there's two forms that the cancer usually tends to use, and that's the bloodstream and the lymphatic system. So as you can see on here, you have obviously your bloodstream, so it can go through there and spread across your body, and then also you have the lymphatic system right here, this green line, and then these green bean looking things would be the lymph nodes. So I'll first talk about the bloodstream. So once a tumor cell gets to a blood vessel, it can wiggle its way through the cells that make up the blood vessel walls, or some wandering tumor cells can actually directly pass through the cells that make up those walls without actually harming those cells though. According to Dr. Cyrus Gajar, the cells, once in blood vessels, are in a timeline because if they don't get out of circulation, then they're going to die. And they usually typically have about 3-day period. It has something to do with the speed of the blood. It has to be, I guess, it's somewhat hectic for the cancerous cells. And then number 2 would be the lymphatic system. That's the other way the cancer tends to transport itself. So the lymphatic system is a network of tubes and glands that work together to filter the body fluids from waste and toxins, and they also fight infections. It can trap harmful cells or damaged cells and destroy them, but in some cases, some survive and grow. They can form tumors in your lymph nodes throughout your lymphatic system and also just in other places of your body. So for example, like on the slide, you have your primary cancer right here, and then it goes to another one, to another site. So you can have it literally in your pancreas, and then it'll basically make its way up and then spread, let's say for example in your lung or something. So it's pretty deadly. Um, Cancer is a scary thing, but it is very interesting how it can spread. I have shown you how the cancer tends to spread, from the formation to the separation, and finally the transportation it uses. Cancer is a tricky thing, and we only know so much about it, but hopefully one day we know everything about it to the point where we will no longer worry about it. Thank you.